AMC will slash prices on Wednesdays by 50% starting in July. The goal is to get more people into theaters between weekends. Now, I bring this up because it's really interesting for a few particular reasons. One, this is something that's going to start in July, which ironically, I think I saw the date is like July 9th, which is like right before Superman releases. But another interesting thing is AMC, which is the biggest theater chain in America, is looking to pull more people to come into the theaters. They are struggling right now. Theater chains are massively struggling. Now, the biggest problem is studios keep taking more and more and more from the theaters. Every single year they go in and they restructure their deals with theater chains to take more and more money from them. And I personally, I think that's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think studios need to make money, but I think they need to lay off a little bit. I think they need to just chill for a few years and just let theaters make money, because without the theaters, the studios make no money. Without the theaters, the studios have nowhere to promote and showcase their films. Now, I think the studios for a little while there thought, well, if the studios die off, we always have streaming. We have direct to home. We have the direct to home option. But I don't think that worked in their favor. They tried a few different formats with that. They tried doing the direct to home for $30 a film. They tried to do the direct to streaming, like with Warner Brothers did under Jason Kilar, where everything was right to home on HBO Max. They've tried different tactics over the years. Disney tried it where it was in theaters and you could also pay $15 at the same time to see it on Disney Plus. Like, they tried different things. It didn't work that way. But people, not only that, but people love going to the theaters. They really do. People enjoy going to the theater. The theatrical experience is one of my favorite things. And it is a real good experience, especially if you get to a good theater. If you go to a good theater that the sound quality is good, the picture's good, the seating's done really well, all of that stuff. When you find a good theater, it's not like there's not an experience that is any better when it comes to watching a movie. So for me, when I see something like this, like, yeah, we already have the discount Tuesdays. I think most local AMCs now have like $5 Tuesdays or $7 Tuesdays or something like that, where you can go in and all day long, $7 to get a movie ticket to go see a movie at an AMC, or in some areas $5 depending on the ticket prices where they're at. Now they're doing on Wednesdays, slashing prices by 50% starting in July on Wednesdays. And that's a great idea, because Tuesdays and Wednesdays are typically their slowest days, and they want to try and pull people in on those days. My problem is, well, I agree with this. I think this is a really, really good idea, but I don't think it's enough, because the theater chains need to make more money. And I get that. I fully understand that. The theater chains need to make more money. And where they make the most money is on concessions. Concessions is where they make the most money. And don't get me wrong, I hate buying concessions at theaters. And honestly, I try to stay away from a lot of that stuff myself. Like, I'm not doing a great job of it, but I am trying to lose weight as much as I can. And I try to stay away from the sweets and all that kind of stuff and the pop and everything. So I don't like buying the concessions, but my kids like it. So when I go, I do buy the concessions for my kids. But it's expensive. Like, you go there, you spend anywhere between, on 2 tickets, you're looking at $20-$30 on tickets, depending on the time of the day and things like that. And then you're looking at another $25-$30 for concessions. So in all, when you go to movies, you're looking at like $50-$60. So half of it goes to the ticket, the other half goes to concessions, which pays for the overhead, pays for the employees and everything like that, their salaries. But what is it that they could do that's a little bit different? Because, like, when I sit here and think about it, I'm not going to go to the theater on a Wednesday. It just isn't convenient for me. The closest theater is too far. I have a family. I have sports I got to go to, band concerts, school events, things like that. Like, a Wednesday just doesn't work for me. So while I would love to take advantage of that 50% off, I can't. How many people are stuck in that? So what else is it that could draw people into the theater that would say, "Hey, come to the theater any day of the week." Now I get they're trying to pull people between the weekends because people go on the weekends, date nights and things like that, and new releases. But what is it that they could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as opposed to just Tuesday and Wednesday? Well, how about they do half concession days? So where you go any day of the week and concessions are half off. Or they change the bundle options for the concessions, where if you spend $30 on concessions, you get 10% off, or 5% off, or 8% off, or something like that. That's an option. There's just different things like that I think that they should test out, try different things like that, because honestly, when I sit here and think about it, I don't think this is enough to really push and save the theatrical or the theaters. I just don't. It's a good start. It's a good step in the right direction, but you already had Tuesdays like this, and if Tuesdays wasn't enough, is or Wednesdays going to be enough? Because how long is it until you say, well, then we got to do this Thursdays, and then we got to do this Mondays, and now you just have 50% off all week when you should just say, well, is that like why don't you just do cut ticket pricing across the board? But here's the other thing. Studios don't have to abide by that. Studios can say, "Look, we don't want our tickets to be half off." So when Superman comes out on in July 10th or 11th or whatever it comes out, they don't have to. They can tell AMC, "Look, for the first 4 weeks, we don't want our ticket prices to be 50% off." So you see, like there's a lot of issues here with it when they can really look at things that don't affect the ticket pricing, but affect the other aspects of the people going there. Because I know when I think of going to the theater, it's not the tickets that really bother me, the ticket pricing. Like, yeah, I look at it, I'm like, man, tickets are so high. But it's really like I know when I go, my kids want candy, they want pop. And I'm like, man, I don't want to spend another $30, $40 or 50. Like we're talking about going to see Lilo and Stitch with my whole family. We got to spend almost $60 on tickets, 60 to 80 bucks on concessions with all the kids. Like it's gonna be, and that's where it gets kind of concerning. So that's what I think they need to look at. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think AMC and these other theater chains can do to maybe do something a little bit different to bring people in, not just in the middle of the week, but you know, at all times to really help draw traffic into the theaters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.